Hate to burst your bubble, Mr. President, but today's jobs numbers, they're full of hot air. Hello, everyone. I'm Jerry Willis. Today's jobs numbers, they're being ballyhooed by the White House today as evidence, that is, of their success at guiding a national economic recovery. The jobs rate fell by 0.2 of a percentage point, and total jobs created beat estimates. Unbelievably, we have been down so long that 8.5% unemployment looks like up to us. But let me tell you, it ain't good. We've got a ways to go to full recovery, and here's why. There are fewer people working in the private sector today than when Obama took office, and the jobs this economy is creating are not the ones you might want. December's jobs report shows the big growth category, couriers and messengers. Nothing against FedEx, but I bet that's not where you were hoping your kids would go to work. In short, we're short of jobs, good jobs, middle-class jobs, sustaining jobs for the middle class. The work's not done, it's only just begun. And that's my 2 cents. And this is the Willis Report. Today's top story, big news on the jobs front as the unemployment rate drops to a 3-year low. So does this mean we're now on the road towards a long-term economic recovery, or is it possible this may be as good as it's going to get? Joining me now, Peter Morici, an economics professor at the University of Maryland, and Henry Nothhaft, author of Great Again. Welcome to both of you. Glad to have you back on the show. Peter, I want to start with you. Are you happy with these numbers, satisfied with the jobs numbers?
Oh, absolutely not. If you look at the percentage of adults participating in the labor force, it's dropped dramatically since President Obama became president. His biggest strategy is to get people to think they don't need a job. If there were as many people looking now as then, the unemployment rate would be over 10%.
Wow. Okay. Well, Henry, let's turn to you for a minute. One of the bright spots here, manufacturing jobs, they did expand some 23,000. Is that what you want to see? Is it enough of a good thing?
Well, Jerry, frankly, I was surprised that we had a positive job report at all with the boneheaded anti-business policies coming out of Washington, D.C. that are disproportionately detrimental to small startup companies. I'm amazed that American business is able to persevere in this environment and create any jobs at all.
Wow. Well, that's an indictment. Peter, to you, one of the things I'm really concerned about is that we create jobs that will grow and expand, sustain the middle class, and yet the hourly wage rate up just marginally here in this report. What is it going to take to get good paying jobs so that people can really get back to work?
Well, we're going to need a robust manufacturing sector, and to do that, we're going to have to turn our trade deficit around. That's big. The other thing is we're going to have to play our strengths. We have this massive ability to create energy in America. You know, all this petroleum we're not developing. And, you know, that's free stimulus. They use concrete, steel, all the same stuff as building roads, but the private sector does it to you. Take the shackles off. Let people drill in the Gulf. Do business with China so we get a fair deal. And, you know, it's time to do business with the banks as well. They're locking up credit. We need to loosen it up.
That's right. Well, Henry, I want you to talk about this part of manufacturing, the energy sector. It seems to me, you know, it is really starting to grow in some parts of the country. We have this ability to turn on a pipeline that can be built through the Midwest. We're not doing it. Isn't the opportunity right at our doorstep and we're just not taking it?
The opportunity is there, but since we have no national manufacturing or innovation strategy, we're not taking advantage of it. We've been too focused on trying to pick winners. Some people accuse that or call it crony capitalism rather than creating a playing field where seeds can be planted and good ideas can flourish. And certainly the most obvious idea that could create huge wealth and huge new jobs and really support the middle class is this pipeline that could also shore up our security and dependence on offshore energy resources. It seems so obvious.
It seems so obvious. Go ahead, Peter. You're gonna add on to that?
Well, the problem is this president just doesn't believe in using fossil fuels. So I guess Air Force One must be an electric plane now. I mean, it takes oil to run the economy. We've got the oil here, and by, you know, shipping those jobs abroad, all we do is make the environment worse.
Well, Henry, just this week, the president announced a new jobs program, this time for teenagers. Is that the kind of thing you want to see? Is that the way to expand job potential here in this country?
Well, a lot of what goes on is like, it reminds me of a CEO who's got a company who's trying to create near-term value for the shareholders rather than making systemic structural changes that would really have a long-term impact on the economy. So Clearly, teenagers and lower educated people are very, significantly unemployed at this period in time. But we need some structural changes in our economy if things are going to turn around in the long term. We could start right in Washington, D.C. by rolling back regulations to the 2008 level on small businesses, freezing new regulations, and carving out small businesses from some of these mandates like Obamacare, Dodd-Frank, and the worst job killer of all, Sarbanes-Oxley, single-handedly killed the IPO job market. And venture-backed companies are very significant to the economy and have a great job impact.
I mean, you see that over and over again. Small businesses being thwarted by this administration. Peter, we talk about job growth. We talk about trying to create job growth. The president had a jobs commission. And one of the folks that I didn't realize was on that commission this week, the CEO of Kodak. That company is likely to file for Chapter 11. What does that tell you about the president's chosen advisors on this very important topic?
Well, look at Jeff Immelt, the chairman of the commission. General Electric historically has been one of the biggest outsourcers in America. I mean, he's investing in China just about as quickly as he can. No, the president is listening to the wrong people. He's not doing the right things. And as a consequence, the country, we're 31 months into the economic recovery, 8.5% unemployment, disguised really 10%. What more evidence do we need that we need a change in Washington if we're going to turn this economy around?
I really do believe it. We've been down so long that 8.5% looks like up to us. It's only been a few years ago and during the Bush administration that we had 4.5% unemployment. And that was good. That is full employment.
Right.
I mean, Henry, what do you make of this? What else do we need to do? Roll back some regulations, yes. But doesn't small business operators, don't large business operators, don't they have to be the ones to grow? Really, the government can't do this. I mean, we're giving them some criticism today, but the reality is it has to come from the private sector.
Well, that's correct. So the thing they could do to help large companies, which are symbiotic to job creation at least, is make a more favorable job environment here in the United States. We have $1 trillion plus in capital offshore, and the administration refuses to engage in a discussion with large businesses about repatriating this money. And then on the small business front and the manufacturing front, maybe we should take a look at Germany. It's a high-wage country, high benefits, yet their unemployment is 6.7%. It's the lowest it's been in 20 years, and that's because they're supporting their export-based manufacturing economy with rational, business-friendly tax policies. And in Washington, D.C., which I call congressional cluelessness, is the bane of the economy. They should step back, get out of the way, repeal some of these crazy bills that they pass, and maybe we would have a chance.
Peter, quickly, we got to go.
Germany assures its manufacturers of a favorable exchange rate environment. President Obama has been unwilling to do anything about China's undervalued currency. That would really boost American manufacturing.
I know that's a big topic for you, and I understand.
But that's the difference.
We talk a lot about China, and we will talk more about it. Hank and Peter, great job tonight. Fascinating conversation. Really appreciate your help. Have a good weekend.
Take care.
Thank you.
Okay.